just the other day, VIZ Media Europe said this: "We are now Crunchyroll." And I responded by saying, "I'm sorry to hear that." VIZ's own tweet had some hilarious responses, though. Take a look at Nameless. They said, "So you're gonna lie to fans, too, about their subscription money going directly to help Japan's industry. However, it's actually going to build an American studio that will make its own content and will take money away from Japanese companies because it's now their competition. For anyone who wants proof, it's coming from their own freaking mouths." Crunchyroll themselves was blasting press and advertisements about this months ago. And here is the image showing these Crunchyroll originals. This one's great. Punish says, "This is an awfully cheery obituary." In the response from Tusk Guy, "Gotta be positive in these troubling times, I guess. Failure builds character, guys. Think positive, guys." Alicia says, "People aren't going to like this because the super shady employees at Crunchyroll, rip VIZ." And Kabato responds, trying to make a, counter to that. They say, "Been a subscriber to Crunchyroll for years. Have yet to see any shady folks." Now compare the likes on this to see what the fan engagement is. You got 105 on Alicia's take and only 10 on Kabato. Let's see the responses there. Oh, it's Nameless. Nameless says on this tweet as well, Other than them lying to fans that our money is going to help Japan's anime industry, only to suddenly start cranking out original content from a Crunchyroll studio that appeared out of thin air. If they were just going to use our money to build an American studio that takes money away from the Japanese industry, maybe change their marketing strategy to something less misleading than a blatant lie." And for everyone who wants evidence or doesn't know what I'm talking about, here you go. It's clear as day if you look at news on Crunchyroll's own website /social media. And now we'll take a look at the full image with the text and everything. It says, "Crunchyroll has officially unveiled the inaugural slate of Crunchyroll originals, starting with 8 series that span genres ranging from adventure to fantasy, romance, historical fiction, and beyond, with collaborators that include the likes of publisher Kodansha, anime studio Mappa, and the brand's own Crunchyroll studios. Viewers," and that part seems to be redacted, "expansion something from a global something of creators get a taste of what's to come in the again, it's kind of taken up by this hand emoji, this giant hand's in the way. You get the point, though. The hand is what's going on here. I don't think it's trying to redact anything. I think it's underlining. This is a giant bold underline with a finger pointing to it, so you really get the idea. The idea is brand's own Crunchyroll studios. That's the takeaway here, I think. Obviously, there's a lot more backlash in the comments. I've only shown a few examples. We'll take a look at some more in a moment. I just find this really funny. So you can see that there are people giving backlash, like we just said, in the comments of the tweets. And what is VIZ doing? Ignoring all of it. And they're clearly looking because, look, they're retweeting all this other stuff talking about it. They're retweeting all these other outlets talking about it, like ANN. Oh my gosh. Imagine retweeting that. And, some more examples. They're retweeting a whole heck of a lot of things talking about this update. However, they aren't, talking about the backlash. I mean, it's to be expected. Obviously, they wouldn't talk about the backlash. We're dealing with Crunchyroll here. They don't seem to really care about what their community thinks. They just seem to care about money and their money in their pocket. Listen, the problem I have with a business trying to make money is zero. I have absolutely no problem with that. However, with Crunchyroll, the hypocrisy is disgusting, and I also take a special interest in the anime industry, so I look at companies like Crunchyroll, like Funimation, etc., a lot more closely than I do other companies, to be fair. However, this is the issue, the hypocrisy. Crunchyroll likes to act all progressive. They seem to like to act like they're this great assistance, this great help to the Japanese anime industry. And what do we see? Really not much assistance to them at all. Again, it seems like they really just care about their own bottom line, and I wouldn't have a problem with that if they didn't try to act otherwise. I love this comment from Pseudonym. Says, "And they think this is something to be proud of." I know. The way they tweeted that, like with the exclamation and everything, it seems like they did. Seems like they really think, it's going to go well for them. What's hilarious is even back in 2013, it looked like Crunchyroll was attempting to do some sort of damage control for all the backlash people had. Again, this is in 2013. For example, we have this report on otakujournalist.com that says, "Where your Crunchyroll dollars really go," an interview with the CEO. It says, "This month, anime bloggers dragged Crunchyroll's name through the mud. However, CEO Kun Gao couldn't be more thrilled." And a quote here says, "In no other part of the entertainment business would you find such passionate fans who care so much about supporting the industry," Gao told me. "I absolutely think their hearts are in the right place." Now, I'm a big fan of action speaking louder than words, and before we read anything further, I'm going to show you some things that I personally find a little bit odd. Again, the date of this interview, October 22nd, 2013. Well, he apparently also did a Reddit AMA 5 years ago, so not quite 2013. This was around 2015. Still, you can see that they were doing some level of damage control, at least in my opinion. That's what this is. It says, I'm Kun Gao, the co-founder and CEO of Crunchyroll, the global anime streaming service AMA. Crunchyroll started as a passion project that I created with my buddies from Berkeley. It's grown to a global streaming platform that brings Japanese anime and drama to millions of fans around the world. By partnering with leading Asian content creators, we're able to bring the most popular series like Naruto, Shippuden, Hunter, Madoka Magica, one of my favorites, well, he's got good taste at least with that, to millions of fans internationally. Today, Crunchyroll's simulcast 4 out of every 5 on airing anime shows within minutes of the original TV broadcast, translated professionally in multiple languages and accessible on a broad set of devices. We also have an incredibly active online community of passionate fans who care just as much as we do about... okay, right, just as much as you do. Okay, sure. About supporting the industry. Crunchyroll is made by fans for fans, and that's why I love my job. That last part is so suspicious to me. We also have an incredibly active online community full of passionate fans who care just as much as we do about supporting the industry. Crunchyroll is made by fans for fans. I mean, it seems like you're trying really hard to make us believe that. To each their own, though. If you believe it, fine and well. I personally don't. Here is an interesting question to Kun Gao and Kun's response. It says, one of the main criticisms I've seen of Crunchyroll is that when you support Crunchyroll, you're not really supporting the Japanese anime industry, just a bunch of middlemen. I know when anime was at its most popular in box stores around the US, it was common for a Japanese company to sell the US distribution rights for a flat fee, and then have no other involvement no matter how well or poorly a series sold. 1. Does Crunchyroll have any kind of revenue sharing in place for the Japanese producers, or is it purely an upfront payment with no further interest on their part? 2, if there is no revenue sharing, can you give us a rough estimate of how much Crunchyroll pays for the rights to stream a typical anime? For example, a 2-core series of middling popularity expectations. And Kun's response is this. All our deals with content partners are revenue share. We contribute a majority to content partners. We are the only major streaming service to revenue share subscription revenue. In addition to ad revenue, when a viewer watches more of a show, more of their subscription dollars will go towards that publisher based on minutes viewed. So watching more of your favorite shows directly contributes to what Japanese studios receive. And the response, that kind of sucks. I subscribe mainly in hopes of some of my money reaching the creators, where most of the time I don't want to bother with the constantly freezing video at random points, or 50% chance of the video freezing when I try to skip forward or backwards. Basically, what I'm trying to say, please get your video player working so I don't have to torrent. A couple of weeks ago, it took me more than an hour to watch a 23-minute episode off Crunchyroll. Let's dissect what Kun Gao said here, though. All our deals with content partners are revenue share. We contribute a majority to content partners. We don't know any of the details here. We don't know what percentage the revenue share is, for example. He says, we are the only major streaming service to revenue share subscription revenue in addition to ad revenue. Keep in mind, this was back in 2015 or so. When a viewer watches more of a show, more of their subscription dollars will go towards that publisher based on minutes viewed. So watching more of your favorite shows directly contributes to what Japanese studios receive. There's a number of problems with this. For example, it shouldn't hinge on Crunchyroll's platform doing well for their business partners to do well in those contracts. At least in my opinion, I think this is not a great deal for the Japanese studios. And like the Reddit poster right below that said, they have issues even using the Crunchyroll platform. They would prefer that their subscription just helps. And unfortunately for them, Crunchyroll is so bad of a platform to watch anime on that they have to go elsewhere to watch it. And now they're disappointed that because of that, they're apparently not helping the Japanese studios as much. So it's a really weird deal, in my opinion, here. Especially for business to business, B2B, it's a really weird deal. I mean, you generally see this sort of thing more so when a company is working with an employee, right? A commission basis or something like that. So I think this is an odd approach. On top of that, it seems like Kun dodged some of the real questions in the thread. For example, this Redditor Days has 2,200 upvotes on this post and even received 3 Reddit golds. I'm not going to read through the full thing. This would be like a 30-minute long video. A lot of great questions here, though. And there's no response to it by Kun Gao. All he did was respond to a response to a deleted comment. And he said, actually, we have a lot of former fan subbers on our translation team, and they've done incredible work to make Crunchyroll possible. We always welcome more additions to our translation team if you are interested. This got -3 downvotes. People downvoted him on this. And again, He didn't even acknowledge the giant post with a lot of effort put into it with genuine questions. He only acknowledged the one that's deleted. So we are missing context. And that's not the point. The point I'm making is that he ignored this giant thread, this giant post that has 2,200 upvotes and 3 Reddit golds. Let's hop back over to the website with the interview with Kun Gao. In this segment, most of your money goes straight to the industry. Let's see what they say. Gao couldn't reveal to me how much of Crunchyroll payment goes back to the anime publishers because of non-disclosure agreements. However, he did say that publishers are ecstatic about the revenue they receive. I mean, that's literally hearsay. And that publishers probably wouldn't agree to work with Crunchyroll in such large numbers if they were getting such a bad deal. This season, we have over 40 simulcasts, more than we've ever had. And most of those shows are coming from repeat publishers who've been with us since day one. So at that point, I would question that they haven't really had any other examples to base it off, right? Publishers get the majority of the money from your subscription, and they're very happy with what they're getting. The thing is, Crunchyroll makes revenue in a lot of different ways, aside from your subscription payment or ads if you have a free account. That frees up the money you give to Crunchyroll to go right back toward the industry. Basically, hiring more employees and other business costs don't take away from the portions that anime publishers receive. This is a very suspicious statement to me. The thing is, Crunchyroll makes revenue in a lot of different ways aside from your subscription payments or ads if you have a free account. That frees up money. That frees up the money you give to Crunchyroll to go right back towards the industry. Now, it feels like they're implying, that he specifically is implying, that by upgrading Crunchyroll's website or whatever, basically if Crunchyroll does better business, if business is better for Crunchyroll, that means it's better for the anime industry. And I find that a very hollow argument. Obviously, some of that is being based off the revenue sharing, for example. Again, we don't know any details about that, however. And the fact is, there is a lack of competition in this industry. As the guy has even admitted, a lot of these partners haven't even tried any other company. They go with Crunchyroll and that's it. There needs to be more competition here. That said, it's been a while since this interview happened, and there is more competition now. At least in my opinion, however, there's not enough competition. And a lot of the companies that are competing with each other seem to really like each other. They have a lot of associating and networking together, so I don't even think it's really that competitive. Let's take a look at some more of the responses in that Twitter thread. Video says, "Game over." Chris says, "What a disappointing end for him." 189 likes, man. They are getting blasted. This guy just says L. I think I'll get in trouble for saying that. I don't know, man. YouTube's weird sometimes. Doll Life says, "Ouch. Sorry for your loss." And the response, "Is that like an April Fool's joke?" No, you're just out of the loop on what's going on in the world. So that's all that's going on there. Another person says, "Sorry to hear." And another person responds and says, "They had a good run at least." It's all fine now says, "I think I will not." Soul says, "Cringe. I'm keeping me money." Rip, you were too good for this world. Sorry for your loss. Well, even more reason to say yar now. Ayy. I already started me, boy. Arr. April Fool's was yesterday, guys. Hope VIZ North America doesn't suffer the same fate. Rip and an L. Can't believe piracy came back. All right, that's it. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please consider subscribing if you're not already, liking the video, commenting down below. All that helps engagement. If you want to take it further, consider becoming a channel member with the join button. We have 3 tiers, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, $5, $10, and $15 each, and you get some cool perks as well. And we have more perks on the way. I have an artist commissioned right now working on some new badges and emotes. And a big thanks to the kind people who promoted yesterday's video over on Twitter. It's going to be Nameless. Hey, you had a special role in this one too. I appreciate the help and the good job on the work, Nameless. Shout out to Amzernon, Mr. Anime 343, Striker Red, North B, Cordinort, oh my gosh, Codinort X. His name is different now, I swear. Baku Girl, Shogun, Intimidator 0108, DXDKJ, Amethyst T, Dinosaur K, Deshaun M, myself. I tweeted this one out. Give myself a thanks there, I suppose. And On the Brain. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you in the next one.